Hi, this is Niels on Dynasty. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, and grateful because it's better than being a jerk. And buy some silver, some platinum, some crystallized osmium because this is not a financial advice. This is just me talking crap, and you should do your own research. I also suggest, non suggesting, that you buy Nano Nuclear Energy, OKLO, and Dream Inc. Micronuclear Energy, along with Clean Air Metals. Those are all stocks, not cryptos or precious metals, but those are what, anyhow. This is about, partially about, uh, what is this about? This is about, let me get over here to Salton Sea. Here we go. Salton Sea region of California holds a significant lithium deposit estimated at 18 million tons, which could be worth $500 billion just in that one small area of California. And there's also like $9 billion worth of gold around that area as well. Discovery has positioned the Salton Sea as a potential leader in the global lithium market. So China goes from being the only one to have lithium and the most amount in the world. Now all of a sudden, America's got the most amount in the world. Let's see what else it has. Salton Sea has, let's see, who owns the mineral rights to Salton Sea? Well, let's check this out. Salton Sea mineral rights, particularly regarding geothermal resources and lithium extraction, are a mix of federal, state, and private ownership. The largest shares belonging to the federal government, specifically the Bureau of Reclamation and Bureau of Land Management. And as I've said in a past video, Bureau of Land Management is selling off land in California, Southern California, that they've already stated has about $9 billion worth of gold on it. So Bureau of Land Management is being very cooperative with selling their assets, American assets, our assets. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Federal ownership. The Bureau of Reclamation and Bureau of Land Management under the Department of Interior owns a significant portion of the land under the Salton Sea. The state ownership. California State Lands Commission manages geothermal leases at the Salton Sea's geothermal field, with some leases where the state owns 100% of the mineral interest. The vast majority of land around the Salton Sea is owned by private ownership, but they don't have the mineral rights. The leases, the geothermal leases, a state land commissioner manages geothermal leases totaling about 3,400 acres, with Orni 5 LLC holding about 2,700 acres, where the state owns 100% of the mineral interest, and Cal Energy Mag Power Company holding 2 leases totaling 615 acres. Lithium extraction. The companies like Berkshire Hathaway and others are exploring extraction in the Salton Sea. The thing about the Salton Sea is it's like going away. Who owns the Salton Sea? Land under the Salton Sea is owned mostly entirely by 3 entities, the largest being the federal government, Bureau of Reclamations, and the Bureau of Land Management under the Department of Interior. So there we go with the Salton Sea. Hey, what's up, Chad? Hey, what's up, Thran? The federal government and the state government pretty much owns all of the lithium in the world, in America, in that one location, which happens to be more lithium than China has. It's $500 billion worth of lithium under 4,000 acres only of the Salton Sea, which is like a 50,000 acre sea, 40,000 acre sea in Southern California. So a large landmass is not. It is a small landmass with a concentration of lithium that's far goes beyond anything China controls. So anyone who tries to sell you the narrative of China being everything in the world and all this other good stuff, and they're going to control everything, they're lying. It's not going to happen. They will not control anything. America owns it all. Not all of it, but we own more than enough to cook for ourselves and to sell. So China's a non-issue. And I just saw another program. I don't know if I should bring this up or not because I don't want to get a strike. But there's this dude who got some cash, says that we need to tariff China 400 to 500% to basically to close them down to where we control stuff. Because what he was saying is basically when you're in business and other companies from other countries steal all your proprietary information and you have no recourse to them to get your wealth back that they've stolen, it comes down to the government doing taxes and tariffs on that country, forcing them to follow international law. Everyone here knows that China has not been following laws. They steal everything they own. They mass produce it, sell it, costing trillions of dollars for countries and private businesses throughout the world. I would like that to end. One way to get that to end is to tax and tariff them more than 125% to bring them to the table. Because as the gentleman said, here in America, if you steal proprietary information from someone else, they can take you to court and get repercussions. In China, if they steal, as they do, proprietary information, can you take them to a Chinese court and get justification? No, you cannot. It's a one-sided economy. That is why China, and that is the only reason China has grown. As soon as we cut that off, China is dead because they do not make things on their own. They steal everything and then mass produce it. That is the Chinese economy. For anyone who thinks that, hey, that's going to be a good reserve currency, you need to be put in prison, because that's the only place that type of currency works, is a prison scenario where they steal from you, manufacture it, and sell it back to you. Well, what do? Nothing but steal and make money. What do you do? Well, you're a slave. So, as I've always said, America is a slave to the world. And these taxes and tariffs are bringing these people to the table. We don't have to tax and tariff them. The threat alone should be enough. China doesn't know how to play because the only thing they do is steal. They don't come up with any good ideas on their own. There's nothing China has ever come up with on their own. Any technology you think they came up with on their own, let me enlighten you. Remember Bill Clinton and the United States top secret classified spy plane that he allowed to land in China? Oh, by the way, they didn't give it back to us for a few years. They totally reverse engineered everything, then gave it back to us. So basically, we gave China all their technology. Excuse me, Bill Clinton and the Democratic Party gave China everything they have to put them in the position they are now, to continuously steal from us and then sell it back to us. Total freaking theft. And anyone who can't see that and wants everything to go as status quo, well, I can tell you this right now, and I've said it before, you were born an economic slave and you enjoy the slavery. I love freedom and equality, and I want China to quit stealing everything from us, mass producing it, and then selling it back to us while adding chemicals on it to kill us. And if anyone can't see that, you do not know how to be American. You do not know what an American is. You don't know what a country is. You don't know what sovereignty is. You don't know what freedom is, because you were born into financial slavery your whole life and you enjoy it. Freedom will be so awesome for you once those of us that are fighting for economic freedom from China, once we win, you'll see what prosperity in America looks like. Hey, Silver Cigars. Sorry about that. Hey, Chad. I already said hi, Chad and Duran. How much platinum do you think you own? I own 0 platinum. I had to sell it all. I've explained this many times. I was on a pathway to start a company back in 2020. COVID came along and nothing's gone right ever since. I had a 17-year fight with the IRS that ended in 2019. And that's where I thought, after I got the lawyer and I did all the money stuff required to get the IRS off my ass, which I did. They said I owed them $137,000. I told them, I'll give you $100 and you'll fuck yourself. And then after about a year of talking with them in court, they said, okay, we'll forgive the $137,000, take $100 and we'll go fuck ourselves. But that really fucked me, because it left the state open to fuck with me on my company, for which they did. And they still are, even though I haven't had my company for 3 years, because it had to go bankrupt because COVID forced paperwork that should have taken 2 weeks to take 6 months. And I ended up running out of money without having any job I wasn't even allowed to put in a bid. I had a company, an ironworking corporation, Consolo Ironworks, for 12 months, and I was not legally allowed to bid, even though I had paid for everything to be able to, all because of COVID. That drained a lot of my finances. And that was in 2020. Since 2020, because the last administration really loves China and wanted to make us even more slaves, the American steel industry, which is now everyone recognizes to be at 20% of what it should be. Well, that's my industry. In the past 4 years, when you crushed it for the 80% that they've crushed it, that was my work. So in the past 4 years, I've only had 14 months of work out of 48 months, or 48 months of work. I only was available or allowed to work 14 months because of the vaccine passports and all this other stuff. So I have had to go through over the past 5 years all of my retirement and savings to stay alive, because California is absolutely the cheapest place in the world to live. You can get a house for $200 a year. Yeah. See, so I've been drained. I'm almost close to the point where I'm going to be claiming bankruptcy if something doesn't change. So yeah, I've had to sell everything, and I'm a piece of shit according to some people because I didn't hold and become homeless with coin in my pocket to be rich. I decided to keep a fucking roof over my head. So I've had to liquidate pretty much everything to stay afloat. And my union, who I've been a member of since 1996, yes, that's 29 years, they're still fucking me with the DEI shit. So nothing's changed for me to get any work, or my financial future hasn't changed. And I know I should give up my whole life and go work at 7-Eleven and start all over again. Because, hey, at 57, that's what we do. See, so I'm kind of fucked. So I'm working through that. So any of you guys who have any personal fucking feelings about me selling my shit, go fuck yourself. I'm staying alive. I will get my money back. I will get my silver back. And I will own more platinum, gold, and silver than all of you, because I'm going to continue with the plan that I've been on, that the government has tried to fuck me off of for the past 5 years. I'm still on that path. I just haven't gotten that far because I've been getting fucked. That's starting to end. And when it does end, that's when I fly. I give suggestions to people on cryptos, on precious metals, on stocks to take advantage of, because they are very, very good pieces of advice I give out, because I actually do research, but I cannot financially take advantage of them myself. Now, if I was an asshole human being, I'd say, hey, who cares? If you can't take advantage of it, don't let that information out. Allow no one else to take advantage of the information that you spent years developing and gaining. I'm not that type of person. I am an asshole, but I like helping people. I like seeing people succeed, and I like giving out solid information. And I appreciate it more if people take that solid information, because if I can't do nothing with that information, and I know it's great information, I will yell it to the tops of the trees and the mountaintops to get that information out, even though I cannot take advantage of it, because I want other people to succeed. My time is coming. God's got my back. I know I'll be fine. So I'm not concerned about buying crypto, buying gold, silver. What I'm concerned with is staying afloat, keeping a roof over my head, and being right with God, so that when my time comes, I'll have it ready to go. And my time is coming. By the end of this year, well, definitely by the end of next year, I will be wealthier than probably 95% of America with the plan that I've been working on for the past 5 years. Longer, actually, but actively trying to work on it the past 5 years. And it's going to come to fruition. No one in the world's ever done it. I'm going to be starting all kinds of new shit, and it's going to make me very wealthy. It has nothing to do with crypto. It has nothing to do with gold and silver. It has nothing to do with stocks. Holy shit, what's it got to do with? Yeah, see, that's the thing. A world first in artwork. That's what it's got to do with. Something that's never been created in the history of our planet or humanity. I'm going to create. I think that's going to make me rich. I also have some jewel ideas for some jewelry and some gem ideas. Again, never been done before in history on this planet or by humanity. I will be the first to do that, and I'll be starting a company that I'm working towards that too. So I'm going to be coming at people with left-right punches that are going to knock out the financial markets. And everyone who has gold, silver, crypto, and stocks, congratulations. I'm still going to be wealthier than you, not having any of that. If I am able to acquire some, good on me. but it's not going to stop me from my path. And my path will lead me to, even Travis is looking, when he looks at the screen, Economic Ninja, when you hear him talk, I'm going to be a billionaire. He'll look at the screen and he'll say, some of you will be too. He's talking about me because he knows my path. And he's very pissed off about me because he keeps calling and asking, Neil, do you have any crypto yet? I'm like, no, Ninja, I don't. Sorry, bro. He's like, Neil, you're fucking killing me, man. Get some goddamn crypto. And we'll have our little conversations and shit. I'm like, hey, what's up, Cool Chin? So I'm on my path and I will spread the crypto that he's talking about because it's damn good. He does his research, as everyone should do their own research. And I hope to be able to get a job here shortly where I can take advantage of this stuff. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to be upset that I missed the crypto run or the PM run or the housing crash, because I have already set my boat out on the waters and I put a direction in it and I turned the engine on and it's still going in that direction. And it has nothing to do with PMs, cryptos, or stocks. I hope that I have the financial fortitude and luck to be able to purchase some cryptos, some stocks, and some precious metals. But if not, it's no big deal, because I'm going to own a gold mine within 2 years. It's not going to be the biggest in the world. It's not going to be bringing in 50 tons a year. But if it brings me in 50 ounces a year, well, fuck, that's free gold, which will put me above pretty much 90% of America. If I can buy some land and get 50 ounces of gold off of it every year, in 5 years, I have 250 ounces. How many ounces of gold does all of you guys have? See, my way of looking at getting rich isn't the same way as everyone else's. I've got my path I've been on. I'm going to stay on it. It's the path I was put on by God, and I will stay on that path. I do hope to take advantage of other paths that I see, but finances and life is not allowing it. And everyone's like, oh yeah, $10 is $10 that's all you need for crypto. Congratulations. You know how non-good I am at working computers? I'm very non-good at it. My life has been made building America with steel. My time with the computer is YouTube. I don't even work half this. Windows Word, I don't even know how to access. I don't know how to access any of this crap. I'm not a computer person. Never have been. I was when I was a kid, but I gave it up when I realized every 6 months everything goes out of gets deleted and you have to learn everything all over again. And if you take 6 months off, you're like a child starting over again. That's not an industry I ever wanted to be a part of, and that is the computer industry. Again, I have my path. I'm staying on it. I hope to be able to take advantage of other paths that I see, that I give information out. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I do hope that it does happen. I mean, I'm getting some of the best tips out there on financial stuff, and I'm giving some of the best tips out there for financial stuff. The Economic Ninja, my friend Travis, he does a lot of crypto stuff. Excellent. I spread all that information because he does do good research and he does know what he's talking about. And those cryptos actually do well if you listen to him and don't hang on to him for 72,000 years. Crypto's a buy sell thing. I do stocks and precious metals, and I've got some real good stock calls I've made past 2 years, 3 years. I've been telling you people about. A couple of people have taken advantage of them. One of them was a Rolls-Royce company, or part of a Rolls-Royce company. In 2023, I said to buy it. It was 83 cents. It's now $9.50. That's 1,100% markup. 1,100%. So for gold to do 1,100%, hell, it would have to be $12,000 right now. See how far behind gold is compared to the money you can make if you really want to make money. Now, you got to look at perspectives. If you want to make money, it's different than if you want to preserve your wealth. And as everyone says, gold is wealth preservation, not accumulation. You will gain wealth by owning gold, but you don't make money off of owning gold. You make money off of investing, off of all this other stuff. Dude, Chad, if you only knew, I have a catamaran design that I'm looking to get started. It's going to revolutionize the catamaran industry. I have put together so many things in this catamaran that it is going to be 100% carbon free. It's not going to use any kind of fuel, gas, diesel, any carbon fuel whatsoever. I'm not sure exactly what the power source is going to be. It's not going to be carbon-based source. It's not going to be gas or diesel. And there's several, like I've told you guys about, there's several different power plants coming out for car engines. Those can also be used for boat engines. But I also have other, hey, what's up, Deja Vu? I have other designs for the interior that totally revolutionize the catamaran industry, the sailless catamaran industry. The design change from the actual boat itself and how it looks to the actual interior features is totally freaking revolutionary, never been done before. I have a Pete Sasquatch, actually, one of Ninja's other mods. He's slowly but surely working on a cat design for me, and I hope to have it out within a year or two, starting for production. And that also has nothing to do with stock scripters or anything else. It's creating a new industry, and anyone who creates new things always makes money. So I got that going too. Hey, there's Pete. Yeah, talk about him when he comes up. What's up, Pete? I was just talking about Chad because he, if you see his statement, he wants to have a boat, a sailboat, and I suggest he doesn't have a sailboat. I suggest that he looks at my design of boat. Zero sails whatsoever, and you'll get further, and you won't have to spend the $15,000 on rigging and $30,000 on sails every 5 years. Yeah, people don't think about that expense. You also don't think about on boats what the sail does to the boat, because the sail is hooked up to a mast. The mast is hooked up to rigging, pulling down on the boat to keep key points on that boat. So when the wind hits the sail, it actually puts stress on the key structural points of that boat. It also stretches out the rigging. It also flexes the mast. All of these things put degradative effects to the actual boat, the structure of the boat itself, and bring expense or extra cost to the boat. My design knocks all those in other words, from a regular catamaran sailboat to my catamaran boat, the cost savings right off the bat for having no rigging, no mast, and no sails over 5 years, you'll save about $50,000 buying mine over buying a sailboat. Yeah, thank you, Pete. Yeah, no, it's totally never before seen, never before tried, never before done, and I can probably guarantee you at least 100 multimillionaires will want to buy one, which will make the company about $1 million profit. It'll make the company $100 million profit. Hold on just a second, guys. And then I also have a housing design. Yeah, Pete, you think that boat design's revolutionary? Yeah, you ought to wait and see my housing design. It requires no flat spot whatsoever. Actually works better on rocks and rocky terrain, hillsides, where the water meets the cliff edge. That's the best spot to build my house design. And of course, nobody in the world's building there. So that makes that land real cheap, which means I can build the newest house design after I get some money up to do it. And it'll sell to millionaires too, and they'll want it. And all of a sudden, land that's useless now will be worth a lot of money, all because of new technologies and revolutionary designs that open things up to make money. That's called economic stimulation and growth, for which I have 3 to 5 designs that I will be bringing to our economy to do exactly that, to bring us into the literal 21st century economy. I have a bee design that'll save the bees and make a person between 80 and 150,000 a year if they operate it properly. No, not like an Earthship at all. It actually, my design of houses that I want to do is on, and as soon as Libya gets a stable government, I'll be going over there and developing my housing design, because I know the future president of Libya and I have already talked about 10, 12 years ago. And he said as soon as they get rid of the terrorists and get stable, he wants to develop a shoreline there of Libya. Hey, what's up, Teresa? And he and I talked about my design, because the cliffside area of the shoreline of the Libyan coastline on the Gulf of or on the Mediterranean Sea, no one's ever been able to build on. And I had told the guy's name's Mohammed Ali Muhammad Ali Indir Ali. His family's up in Washington State. The American government pulled him back out of Washington State, sent him over to Libya and reclamations and do all the paperwork to turn all of land and assets back over to the people that owned it before Gaddafi got there, and then ISIS took over. And then, before ISIS came back into that country, he and I were talking about developing his coastline. So I've got that big project going too, and that's going to be an international project that I'll be starting as soon as Libya, whenever, and there's no guarantee Libya will be a free democratic state, but if they ever do become a free democratic state or close to it, I'll be able to build there. And what my design is there's several designs. You can come from the water, and you use the old Roman style of underwater concrete if there's no bedrock nearby, and you can place your columns, two of the columns in the water, and it comes up out of the water, and then you attach the other columns to the cliffside, and you build up. So you actually have a cliffside water access only house built on the cliffside going up to the top of the cliff where it levels up with the earth. And then you just put like a regular house on top of it. So you can have like a 3-story house. And then from the land, it only looks like a 1-story house. But if you're coming in from a boat or a seaplane, it's definitely a 3-story house. And no one's ever built there. So that's the type, style, and design that I'll be using. And that's why Muhammad Indir Ali has pretty much guaranteed me to be able to build there as soon as he gets control of that country, because that develops parts of their coastline that no one has ever had any architectural designs or building styles revolutionary enough to make it viable of that building style. So I have and that same design could be used on like a 45-degree mountainside that's all rocky, because I don't need a flat spot. The 2 bottom columns can be at 30 foot, 45 foot, and the 2 upper columns can be at 10 foot and 7 foot. And I can, with all those differentials, boom, throw a flat and then work your way up, stepping it back, tier stepping it in to where you have a tier step off the side of a freaking mountain housing complex. And then with the development of the flying cars that are coming, this time in history is ideal for that style of building and developing. So I have that going for me. And then I've got the mobile elephant fencing system that I have to deploy down in Zambia. And I also have a mobile beekeeping system that'll increase the GDP of Zambia. If fully deployed in that country, it'll increase their GDP by about 30%, because their third largest, or at least in 2012, Zambia's third largest export was their honey. So I can increase one of my ideas can increase one of the 186 countries on this planet's GDP by 30%. And that's like my third idea. And then I've got a patent for a litigation designed for extension ladders that ANSI and OSHA have clearly left open for some reason. My design fills that gap. And right now there's like a minimum of $10 million a year spent on litigation just for injuries based off of the fact that they don't have that hole in safety covered by litigation or by a device that documents what is now not documented, which leaves that litigation hole open for multi-millions of dollars yearly being spent in lawsuits over injuries from specifically this particular aspect of the extension ladder. So once I get going, do you think do you think crypto will make me much money comparatively? You think gold and silver owning some of it will make me as as much money comparatively. You think owning some stocks are going to make me as much money as the 5 ideas I just presented to you that I will be doing? What you got to realize is in economies, the world leaders in economies are the innovators and the technological revolutionaries that are bringing new products and designs to the world place. I have 5 of them that have never been done on this planet. Neil Andrew Hahn has 5 of them, and I just need to bring them to the market. And I will probably beat the economic ninja to being a billionaire. And I think he knows it because I've told him a couple of these designs. Actually, he's very, very interested in a few of them. So yeah, my revolutionary boat design that's kind of amazing. Dude, I got a high IQ. I really do. And I'm a normal person. I'm not one of those high IQ people that's freaking weird. I do have my quirks. I have a little dyslexia on S's and C's, and sometimes I put letters backwards. Like, I don't recall, honestly, I don't recall what my IQ is. It's either 156 or 165. I don't recall because I don't remember where the 6 and the 5 were. I know the 1 came first, but the 6 and 5, I don't know. So I always go with the lower number and say it's 156, just out of being humble. But it's possible it could be the 165. But again, because of my little quirky dyslexia, I don't recall the number. It's either 165 or 156. So like I said, I got 5. And as a matter of fact, if you do research on Africa, down in Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, they're actually having problems with elephants coming into farms and into towns. And their towns are mud houses. If an elephant bumps up against it, it collapses the house. They seriously have an elephant problem down there. And there's this one lady, Teresa King. I think her name's Teresa. She graduated from UC Davis, got her ichthyology degree. And then the best device she could think of is running a string through a beehive, holding it up in the air so that when an elephant hits the string, the whole beehive falls, breaks apart, and the bees get mad and chase the elephant off. Unfortunately, it chases everything off for about 24 hours. Then you got the expense of rebuilding a new beehive and redoing it all. And it's really rudimentarily stupid an idea for a person who went to college for 8 years. My idea is a lot simpler. It's and I'm not going to make money off this. This is going to be a free one. I'm going to give it to them. If any of you guys can get it to them, you can take advantage. Just make sure that you give Neil the credit for coming up with the idea. It's a stick, solar panel, and a freaking motion sensor with a small speaker. And the motion sensor you set for, rhinoceros size for, baby elephants and bigger. So it doesn't set off for anything. And you stick this pole along the pathway of the elephants. And as soon as the motion sensor kicks off of motion of an elephant, the speaker puts off the bee buzz. Elephants are scared shitless of bees. They'll turn and run in the opposite direction. So that small device that'll cost less than $100 to put together can keep a village safe from being having houses toppled and all their crops ruined by elephants. That's the first use of that one. A second use of that design is they can put it in Zambia along the Zambezi River to keep the elephants from migrating south into Zambia, because in Zambia they can be killed. Elephants can be killed. So every time the elephants go and they cross the Zambezi River for the migration and they come back, there's like 20% less of them because about 20% of them get killed. Zambia wants to keep their elephants live and healthy because they want to be an international, they're building their country to be an international tourist zone for the world. They've got Angel Falls, Zambezi River. They got fucking all kinds of cool shit down there. Nat Geo, the Discovery Channel, developed a new plane, a small ultralight with the engine in the front, looks like a little torpedo, especially for that country so they can film the wildlife. That's how much of an industry they're building there for an international tourist spot. So the elephant fencing system that I have definitely, hey, what's up, Magic? Definitely would be useful down there. Same with my bee invention, because I said honey is their 3rd largest export for GDP. Well, a problem back in 2012, and I'm sure they're still having this problem, is they got low dollar amounts for their honey because they had the way they extract their honey left a smoky smell and taste to their honey. So they got their honey labeled as low quality. So they get the lowest amount of dollars for their honey. using my system, they don't have to use smoke to smoke the bees out to get the honey. So that means there's no smoke smell embedded in the honey. So therefore, just that on its own causes their honey to be raised in price, and they get extra money for their products. Not to consider the amount of the product of honey they'll get by using my system will increase their honey production by about 50 to 100%, which would take it, their honey business, which is the third largest export they have, probably bring it up to the second largest export they have, or an increase of their GDP by 30%. And I've already done the studies on this, and I know the math works out, and I'm not talking out my ass. You can do all the studies. I did 7 years of studying on this shit on my own to make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'm not talking out my ass, but do your own research on that as well. But if any of you guys have any connections to Africa or Zambia or that area, let them know about my elephant fencing system. I'm giving it away for free. I want them to have it. I want to save the elephants too. Hey, what's up, Knackers? Thank you very much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Understand you're a busy man and you got to get back to your life. Thank you very much for stopping by. Knackers is in Australia, so he's like, it's probably dark there right now. He's probably fixing to go to bed if he doesn't stay up too late. But that's let's see, did the ladder thing I told you about, the bee fencing system, the mobile apiary system, the housing system, and the boat. Oh, yeah. And the lightning crystal artwork. That makes 6. You guys will see the lightning crystal artwork by next year. And basically what that is I will be using actual lightning to crystallize sand, different colored sand, not chemically altered colored, naturally colored sand, because lightning will blow away the dye color, but naturally colored sands. And I'm going to be making sculptures. And I'm going to be using lightning to complete the sculpture. And again, never in human history has that ever been done. So it'll be worth a couple $1 million for each piece that I get for that too. And also there's probably a lot of science and a lot of money to be made off of that, because no one has been able to consistently draw lightning to one spot to where you can get information science and developing technologies and information off of it, because you can't get a lightning strike in the same spot consecutively. So it's not worth setting up scientific information to study it. I have achieved that. My system of making lightning crystal artwork, I have done enough research to where I can guarantee that I can get consecutive lightning strikes in the same area, which would validate colleges, universities, and large corporations to invest money into, yes, art with lightning. Exactly. I'm also going to be doing sculptures, lightning sculptures. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Your imagination should go wild, because you have nothing to base that concept off of in your mind, because it's never been done before. But I'll also be doing sculptures in lightning. It's going to be a fun one, but I've figured it out. But yeah, so anyhow, back to cryptos, metals, and stocks. I would god awfully love to be able to get back to work, to make some money, to be able to do that, invest in those, because quite frankly, I can't get out of any of my designs. I have to move to Alabama. I'm going to be building my catamaran business in Mobile, because they've got a good port there. They've got a steel mill they built 25 years ago. They got everything they need. And with the Shipbuilding Act and all the money that's going to be flowing in from the government at the end of this year, probably November, they'll announce a couple $100 billion investment into port modernization and shipbuilding. And I will be set and positioned to take advantage of that. And that's why I say positioning is everywhere, everything. I know for a fact that we're going to have a shipbuilding act, and America has to build no less than 200 1,000 foot plus long boats for national security reasons, to get our merchant marine fleet up to the 435 boats that it's supposed to have by contract with the American government for national security and maritime security. And they're also going to rebuild and modernize every port system in America. Hey, you have a good night there, Mr. Knackers O'Reilly, and sleep well. But they're going to be revitalizing and modernizing all the ports of call that we have, along with building at no less than 200 1,000 plus foot long boats. So that's a lot of work, people. if you position yourself right in any business that has anything to do with shipping, manufacturing, assembly, port revitalizations, any of that, get into it now. Because by November, when that bill passes Congress, because the president's already signed an executive order, it's a decently long-sized executive order. It's got to go through Congress to be ratified. But after that happens, it's on like Donkey Kong. You can either be late to the game, wait for it to hit the news, and everyone say, hey, there's jobs in shipbuilding, let's run to them. Or you can already be there with your tent set up, ready to take on employees because you were about 9 months ahead of the crowd. It's called positioning. So that's why I spoke with Pete the Sasquatch, because he's my computer man. He's like the heartbeat of the catamaran design. I have to be down in Alabama near Mobile for that to happen at that port of call when all this money starts to get thrown at it. I'm hoping to follow what I call Elon Musk's Tesla government subsidy growth company for a zero emissions vehicle. The pathway's out there. Only one person's made that pathway. No one's followed it. That person was Elon Musk. He's got several $1 billion in subsidies. Look what he's built. I'm going to follow that path for the as much as possible for the my new catamaran design. And to do that, I've got to be in an area where I can build the catamaran or have it built. And for that, I need a warehouse and I need all this other shit. And it's all down in Mobile. So that's why I keep saying I gotta move down to Alabama. There's also my lightning crystal idea. I have to be down in Baldwin County or Escambia County, down in Northwest Florida, Southeast Alabama. What's up, Lisa Anderson? Because that's the lightning strike capital of the world, of America. And my good friend and associate member to the Italian family that I was voted into, he owns land at the top of the hill, the highest hill and the first hill off of the Gulf of America, in the lightning strike capital of America. So divine or not, I have access to the top of the first hill off of the Gulf of America and the lightning strike capital of the world of America. So what better place to start a lightning artwork design type thing? It's kind of divine. So that's another reason why I got to be down in Alabama. And what was the other one? There's another reason why I got to be down there for some other part of the business. Oh yeah, I'm going to be starting the festivals and events. This is number 7. I'm going to buy a couple of different, probably 200-acre lots in Alabama, northern part of Alabama, eastern side, northern side, because I'm going to develop that land into a festivals and events land, having at least 3 festivals: a Ren Fair, Western Roundup, Oktoberfest, Christmas lights, festivals and events. And if you have the right demographics and get the right land where you have the right population pool, after about 2 to 3 years, you'll be pulling in about $1 million for each festival and event, which means that land will be pulling in between $1 and $3 million a year. Once I buy it, that should be within 5 years, that should be going. So there's an extra revenue on number 7 idea that I have going. And all these ideas are longer term than crypto and stock profit margin due to cycles. These are new technological businesses and corporations that I'll be starting that'll go further than anyone will ever go in crypto and in stocks and in owning any amount of precious metals. That's why I'm not dying right now, because I don't have any money to invest in the precious metals or the cryptos or stocks. Not that I will not continuously tell you people about these great ideas. I will, because I want you to win. I want you to make money. So I'll continue giving all my years of research and development and thoughts and connections, and I will continue to give this information out for others to take advantage of it, because my advantages are coming because I created them. All the 7 things I just mentioned to y'all over this past half hour, 45 minutes, all creations of Neil Andrew Hahn out of his brain. And there's no crypto, there's no silver to be dug out of the ground, there's no stocks to be purchased. All 7 of those ideas, each and every one of them, a multi-million-dollar idea on its own. And I've got 7 of them. I need to get started. That's what I need to do. Hey, Snooks, how's it going? And of course, to get there, it'd be quicker if I could take advantage of some crypto and some PMs on these cycles that are coming. And that's what I'm hoping for. But that's only the launching point. That's the starting point. It's not the end all for me. That's like the beginning of the game. Because after that, that's when I actually start working and don't have a life, and I'll probably have to get offline because I'll be doing too much shit and won't have. Oh yeah, hold on, 8. I got a new jewelry line. I just had a concept. I had to pass over a friend before I got online about a second new gem design jewelry, which includes crystallized osmium. And I got the equipment to do the cutting and the faceting and shit like that for that second design as well. But I got a lot of shit I got to work on. And being down in Alabama would be best for that too, because I could buy some land. A house that's 1, 2, 3 acres for security. So that way, when I do my gym making shit, I'll have security. I won't be like 20 foot away from a neighbor who could steal from me. Like I am out here. Actually, it's not even 20 foot. I think the houses here are 10 foot apart in the city I live in, California. Yeah, I got 10 foot between me and my neighbor's window on both sides. And then in the front yard, I got about 30 foot, then a road, which is about 40 foot, and then 30 foot. So we got about 100 foot before my neighbor across the street's property. And I got 150 foot of space behind me before it crosses the alley and gets to the other neighbor behind me. So I'm really locked in a city position. I need a couple acres between houses so that I can secure areas to do all this stuff. Another reason to move to Alabama, because a couple acres out here is 2 zeros more expensive than down in southern Alabama. Matter of fact, I'm looking at a house right now before the housing crash. It's $100,000 on 1 acre. 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,300 square foot. 100K on it. Well, it's 0.8 of an acre. It's not actually 1 acre. And that's just what I'm looking at. I'm hoping to be able to buy it and another one at the same time. If I can get like 2 houses in the range of about $250,000, I can get a $250,000 loan because the money I'm making out here when I work. And uniquely enough, if you study up on financing, you'll find out that when I go to get a loan, being a union iron worker, they don't go off of the company I'm working with at the time, because as a union, as an iron worker, every financial company knows they didn't build their building over a 40-year time period so I could build it and retire on building one building. They actually know that we have to crank them out fast and that each building is owned by a different company. So they don't look at our job past history. What they look at is time in service in the union. And I've got 29 years in the union, averaging $40,000 a year over the past 10 years. Before that, it was higher. So I automatically will qualify pretty much for a $250,000 loan just because of my work service in the union. Not that I now to get that loan, I will actually have to have a physical job at that time. So I'll have to do the loan paperwork during the time that I have a job, but it's not required. The paperwork done on getting a loan by a union, any union person, is different than regular people who don't do union. And that's an advantage of being in a union. The way they look at your financing for financing is different than a non-union job. Because a non-union job is based more off of your actual work. You have to actually have a job. A union job, you just have to be in the union because you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to have a job. So whereas a non-union, you don't have that guarantee. And that affects loans and people's ability to get loans or their willingness to give loans. It's called financial security. In unions, you have a higher financial security depending on part of the country that you're in. If you're in the union, the Iron Workers Union down in southern Alabama, it doesn't work the same because they haven't had any union work down there for 20 years. And all the financiers know that. I am in the Bay Area. There has not been a time in the past 30 years where there has not been union iron work. 180-degree difference from the Alabama scene. That's why I need to get the loan while I'm out here in California, because of the economic situations of the job that I have. Even though I'm not working, I can still take advantage of that job and the financing possibilities from that I wouldn't have if I was non-union. So in August, there's this job coming up. It's PLA, Project Labor Agreement job. It's up in Napa. It's going to be an extensive job, lots of different phases to it. It'll last like 30 years, different phases, not consecutive, but work for at least 30 years in that area. Man, as soon as I get that job, I'm going to apply for all of this loan, try and get the house. That's why I got to look for houses. And if I can find 2 houses for about $250,000 for both of them, I'll be buying 2 houses. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything to talk about? I was just running my mouth here. Yeah, but I got like 8 brand new businesses, designs, and things, technological achievements or advancements in companies that will help keep America great, keep us world leaders, because the technological innovators and creators are the ones that run society, that run the world. And if America, and with America is us, if we all are creative and innovative and start new and creative new companies, creation and innovation drives economies. And the leaders in technological advancements are the world leaders in the economy. And so far, China's been that because, again, they steal. They don't invent their own technology and newness. They steal it and come up with it first and cheapest. That economy is coming to an end. How's that economy come to an end? Dun, dun, dun. Tariffs. It's all pre-planned, people. It's all been pre-planned. Tariffs end China's control of the world economy's manufacturing through theft. So, another way to look at it is your whole entire life since 1947, when the CCP started with their achievements of what they wanted to be, which was what they are now, is based off of stealing all the technology, mass producing it cheap, and selling it back to the people they stole it from. So you're born accepting that. And that is your base level normal of living. You will be stolen from and a financial slave, and you're used to that. That is your normal. I see this and recognize it. That's not normal. We can do a lot better. How do we do a lot better? We tariff the frell out of China. So that way, all of their theft of our intellectual properties that they can mass produce cheaply through slave labor, which is why people jump out the windows of Apple building, and they have fences around on every floor to keep people from committing suicide. Obviously, slave labor. So this country steals every bit of technology they get. They do slave labor to produce it cheaply as hell. So basically, we have not lived in a real economy our entire fucking lifetimes. It has been a staged economy based off of bullshit numbers to keep numbers down. They should be a lot higher. Gold right now is showing that by either the price increasing or the dollar decreasing. Either way, the value of gold is going up, giving the indicator of exactly what I said fixing to happen, showing that it's planned. Because we all know, and if you don't, you're fixing to find out, the PMs run every 45 years, 40 to 50 years. It's cyclical. Okay, so if you know that gold is going up because the dollar is going down, or gold is more valuable because the thing you value it with is going down, that happens every 50 years. That means it's planned. So when Nixon said temporary, and then you look at the fiat dollar with the 2% annual inflation, 2 times 50 is 100. So the fiat dollar has to go away during the next PM run. Hey, check this out. We're in the next PM run. Holy shit. That's some cool information to have. So we're going to change the dollar in the next PM run. We're in the next PM run. Take a look at the world and tell me the dollar's not going to change. Sorry to lay it all out for you on black and white on a chalkboard, guys, but that's exactly what's happening right now. Shitloads of nuances. I'm not saying it's not more complicated than that. It is. When you get to the micro or the macro, it gets hell of a lot more complicated. But the simplified version is it was planned. They told you it was planned. Everybody's told you it's planned. And no one seems to recognize that it's planned. And the plan is going according to plan. And the time now is to get rid of the dollar and bring in a new dollar. That's why Congress okayed financial institutions to create stable coins. And they're going through that. It'll be a year or two before they get work through that. But if they do work through that, that brings us back to an 1836 to 1862 economy where Congress allowed banks to create their own money, stimulating competition for the consumer. And you're used to the bank, which means they gave you better interest rates on savings, lower interest rates on loans because they were competing for your business. And they did that for 25 years. And it led to the Industrial Revolution. So they're going to do a repeat of that because we're introducing digital to our economy. And that's how the economy is going to expand. So our economy is going to double just through the introduction of digital. So you should gain wealth just from that on its own. And if you know this is happening, you should look at sectors that you should be able to invest in to even make that financial gain even larger. But Congress has okayed financial institutions, certain financial institutions, to create stable coins backed 1-to-1 with the dollar. The American government has secured, through stock picks that I tell you guys about, NNE, OKLO, and Dream Inc., micro nuclear reactor. That sector is known as the energy sector. The energy sector is oil, natural gas, and electricity. America just sealed our place as the world owner of the energy sector of the world. I don't care about any other sectors. We're the king. Okay, it doesn't happen overnight, but hey, here's an indicator for you to show you that I'm not a dumbass talking out my ass. The Nuclear Regulatory Agency, for the first time in the history of the world's economic or nuclear regulatory industries, instead of forcing companies to take 10 to 20 years to build nuclear reactors, I did a report on this. You can go back and look at it. They are begging companies to come to them as early as possible in their development stage so that they can work hand in hand with them to fast track micro nuclear and small modular reactor technology. So basically, what your government is telling you is nuclear reactors are going to be in your backyard. They're small sizing, they're downsizing. The smallest one can fit in the back of a semi truck and be driven around the country. Nanonuclear energy is securing 5 sectors of the nuclear industry, the micronuclear industry, to guarantee that they are going to be the Tesla of that marketplace. That's why I say buy NNE. They're only 20 some bucks right now. They're going to be $1,000 in 5 years. Trust me, you're going to wish you had some. Just like you wish you had Apple and you wish you had Tesla when it was at $20. NNE, OKLO, and Dream Inc. NNE in the past 11 months went from $5 to 20 some dollars. In 11 months, it's kept up with gold, and the economy's shit. Hold on, wait, except for the part of the economy that America is going to control over the world, which is the energy sector. The new technologically advanced energy sector is micro and small modular reactors. Those are guaranteed winners by the federal government. Guaranteed winners. You're walking into Vegas and the house is telling you, we're betting here. If you want to win, you can bet here or take your chances. There you go, deja vu, 1 gram at a time. No, there's a lot you can do. There's a lot you can do. Invest in the energy sector. You know, right now, Europe is crying tears and will pay so much money for our natural liquefied gas. We don't have the container ships to get it all to them quick enough. They want to buy it so much. Yeah. And the Biden administration actually stopped the export of shipping natural gas, liquid gas to Europe. People don't talk about that too. He was trying to crush the energy sector of America. But that's changed now. Now we're on top of it again. And it's going to be secured contracts being signed. They can't be undone by the next POTUS if it's the opposite guy, you know. So it's guaranteed. America's energy sector world leader, the technological innovator. And next thing we're going to have is nuclear powered rockets. That's Elon Musk is already going for that. I did a video on it. It'll get us to Mars in 45 days, not 6 months. Totally changing and advancing his program. of colonization and all this other crap that he talks about. So companies moving in that direction are also going to profit just from that technology of the nuclear powered rocket, for which now the Nuclear Regulatory Agency is also working with the companies that are building that rocket engine. So it's going to happen. So says the United States government. No, it's about everything, man. I just gave away 8 to 9 of businesses I'll be starting that are going to make me millions. And I'm telling people how they can take advantage of what's happening right now. And it's the energy sector. You want to invest. Energy sector is going to rock the world. The newest part of the energy sector is the nuclear part. And the federal government has pretty much sent you a memo saying, invest in this because we are. There you go. Boom. There's your dime. Just dropped a dime on you. Boing. There's the winner. Believe it or not, we're investing. You and I are investing in the energy sector right now, but as typical, we are only investing it in the taxpayer format, which means we will not benefit personally, but our country will. Where we can benefit personally is follow the money. It's your tax dollar. Find out where it's going. And then invest in winners. I mean, you know, that's one way to look at stocks, huh? What's the American government buying? Because we know American government's the stupidest government in the world and hasn't controlled anything since 1776. We have not been world leaders, innovators, or anything. So let's not follow the American government. Yeah, let's take on that thought process. You'll be living in the streets in about 2 years. Because trust me, I've done many reports on Sahel nations and how they're getting rid of the Eco-Franc, their monetary system, and their words, quote unquote, our money is our sovereignty, and we will not be slaves anymore. And then they dumped the ECOWAS and came up with their own dollar system for their countries, backed 100% by gold. Yes, I do have an email. So that's a social experiment of the Sahel nations, changing up the world economies for themselves, going off of a fiat dollar system to a 100% gold-backed currency is one. What do you call that? It's a experiment, social experiment going on in the world. Another one is Ecuador with the BTC. And the way these people who ever come up with these social experiments determine who the winner is they look at the country doing the economic experiment and they see the effects of the countries around it, positive or negative. And that's how they determine what economic system is going to be the one used. So the economics scenarios are playing out before us in live real time. We just don't realize that they are. They're called social experiments. When Ecuador said they were going to a BCC economy, that was a tell. Big time. Slap you in your face if you knew what the hell was going on. Someone, whoever the they are that have been controlling this world since they controlled this world, has done a social experiment. And then Sahel nations come together and split off and get rid of a fiat dollar system and go to a new dollar system. I'm using the word dollar, not as an American dollar, but a dollar system. Their dollar system, Ecuador's dollar system is a digital dollar system. Sahel nation's dollar system is a gold system. It's a dollar system. I'm just using the word dollar. It's not American dollar. But now if you look at Zimbabwe, they actually are using gold, which failed for them. But now they're using the American dollar. See how I said American before the dollar? So I'll say American dollar if it's American dollar, but otherwise I'll just use the word dollars as in physical notes that country uses to demonstrate their national wealth through currency, a dollar system. But it's not a fiat dollar system. It is a solid money. Both systems of experiments, the BTC in Ecuador, or else Ecuador, I think it is, and the gold system in the Sahel nations, both social experiments for monetary systems, lead you to believe that it's going to be one or the other that win. In my opinion, that's not what's going to happen. What these social experiments are doing in these two parts of the world are seeing how they work so they can combine them, because we are including a digital to our economy, which will no less than double the size of our economy. But we have to have a solid base to do that. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to use the Sahel nations social experiment as a money system to convert over to a digital system, which is the Ecuador system, and they're going to combine the two and introduce it as the new world system. Yeah, let me put my email down here. Neil. Neil Andrew Hunter. Yeah, that's it right there. I'll check my. A lot of shit goes to spam when people who've never emailed me email me. So like, I hope the name is closely related to the name you use here, because otherwise, if it's different, I won't recognize it. I might actually just delete it in irrelevant to who it's from, because I don't recognize who it's from. So if you're going to email me, do it today or tomorrow, and I will pay closer attention to my spam folder and what I delete. But after tomorrow, on Friday, I'll go back to my normal, just mass delete and shit that I don't recognize. And within those 2 days, I'll also add you to the lists. That way you don't get put on in the spam folder. But anyhow, I hope everybody understood exactly what kind of shenanigans I've just told you about and how the economy will unfold. And it's not going to happen in 2 weeks. Not going to happen in 2 years. It'll be finished up by 2030. Okay? This is long-term game shit. A lot of plays get made in the meanwhile on the micro and the macro, but big picture shit's just what I gave you. What will happen, big picture. Small picture, and it could be delayed due to different billionaires wanting to control sectors for a little bit longer to make more money. That's a given. That's human nature. In America, we have 147 billionaires, so there's 147 different options of them screwing that up and elongating that time period. But what I just said will happen by 2030. But now that shipbuilding act, all that shit, it's going to increase our economy by 2026. And all the savings through Doge, see all these different things all adding up, and then we'll get into the micro and the macro. If they do actually save us through waste and fraud prevention enough money to send every taxpayer $5,000, which is supposedly be 20% of the amount they saved, that means that they'll have saved $25,000 of your taxpayers' dollars yearly. They'll have saved you through getting rid of the fraud and waste, and they'll have that extra money. So if they're going to send us 20% and each American gets like $5,000, they're going to have about $800 billion left over. And it only I think we run off of like a $2.6 trillion actual yearly expenses, to where if we have 1/3 of that in reserve before the year of 2026 starts, that means we have to lower the amount we have to borrow for that year. So we're going to start off with a higher credit rating, renegotiated long-term debt, lower long-term debt. So that number you see on the debt clock going up, it'll start going down. Yeah, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Yes, the debt clock by 2026 will start going in the other way. We'll start paying that shit. It'll start going down. Because in my estimation, with $3 trillion new investment in manufacturing and companies being built here in America and hiring Americans, and the tariffs put on China, stopping them from profiting from the theft of our intellectuals' property and technological advances here in America, will all come to a head. And what that means is financial prosperity. So I see zero inflation and a lot of economic growth for any individual who's positioned to take advantage of it. You'll see it. In my opinion, you'll see it by Q3 of this year. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be like, oh, shit, I should have positioned myself for that. Neil was telling me that 6 months ago, 5 months ago. And hopefully then you'll be able to, by the end of Q3, you'll be able to say, oh, shit, yeah, let me fucking pivot so I can make some money off this stuff. But that's the only reason I do this. Like I said, I'm not in a position to take advantage of these things right now. It's my financial situation and my career choice back in 1993, and my age being this month, I'll be 57. Not too many companies want to like, hey, we got a new apprentice. He's 57. He's going to be good for 5 years, then retire. So my options of work have been severely cut by my age. It's called age discrimination. It only happens to a certain sector of the economy, us old folk. It doesn't go by color, it goes by age. It's ageism. And it's a real thing no one really talks about. But trust me, no one hires someone knowing that they're going to retire 5 years after you hire them. That's like stupid. That's a stupid business move. And everyone who's my age knows that. So we have to make economic moves appropriately different than younger people. So you have to take that in consideration when you talk shit to someone about the economy. What's their role in it? Do they have the same advantages of a 20 or 30-year-old? In case you want to know my perspective on me changing careers at age 56, 57. It ain't going to happen. No one will invest in me. Believe it or not, that has nothing to do with race, has nothing to do with religion. It only has to do with age. So if people feel downtrodden because someone doesn't like you because of whatever color you are or whatever the fuck it is, just realize this. It gets worse as you get older. So get over it. Get on top of it. Make a lot of money to where it doesn't matter. But hopefully here we're going on the merit system, and that actually will level the playing field off for the people who, I know you will, Gerald. You're a smart man. Only smart people will invest in me, baby, and future multimillionaires. And that's why I started on YouTube, man. I wanted to get a group of people together that could, not meaning to sound vain, not meaning to discount anyone else's what they bring to the table, but just and I don't want to go to the mountaintop on my own, man. I want to bring a fucking village with me. I want to have a caravan of motherfuckers coming with me when we hit the riches. I want 10, 20, 30 people involved in every business that I just told you guys about. I'm not going to do them by myself. I'm going to get them started. I'm going to find other people. I don't care if they even know about this shit. You can learn about it. You could be a waitress and you'd be a friend of mine and you believed in me. I'll fucking make you president of a catamaran company. You'll learn. We'll hire people to teach you. You'll learn in 5 years. You'll be good and they'll be gone and you'll be running it. I want to bring good people up with me and put them in positions where they can gain wealth as well, because I am going to be creating a lot of crap and I'm going to need a lot of people to keep it going. And there's going to be a lot of money and wealth involved in that for those people. Oh, no, it's going down, hon. All of it's, the whole market's, we got probably, oh, shit, 70, 75 days before probably the crash or before something big happens. Yeah, no, it's going down. That's why you need to be positioned. And it's guaranteed to happen. You need to be ready. You need to understand it's happening and understand another thing. Don't look at the negative. Yeah, it's going to crash. What happens after a crash? Does it stay down? No, it doesn't stay down. Does everything bump back up? Excuse me, let me rephrase that. Does everything that you own jump back up quick? No, and it won't. Unless you look in advance and you know what's the other side of that fucking crash is going to look like, and you invest in the other side of that crash before the crash happens, knowing what the other side is going to look like, then your shit will jump up faster than it went down. So, in my opinion, non-financial advice, this is just for entertainment purposes only, if you were to own any NNE stock, OKLO stock, or Dream Inc. stock, or Clean Air Metals stock, or MJNA, it's a medical marijuana stock out of Canada, or SFRX, those stocks will probably skyrocket, because anytime everything drops, there's a lifeline that's thrown out there for the recovery. Go back to 1929, research it. Things will go up because the big boys will need someone to follow, to blaze the trail through the new path that is going to be created coming out of the crash. And I can guarantee you it's going to be the energy market, the new technological new energy markets, your micro and small modular reactor companies. Again, I told William MCD 2023 to buy there's this division of Rolls-Royce. It was like 94 cents back then. I says, you want to buy some of this shit, it's going to fucking skyrocket. This was in 2023. It's now $9.50. It's gone up 1,100% in 2 years. Gold is good. Gold is real good. It's only gone up, what, 200, 300, 400, 500%, some small amount like that. See, don't stay focused on what the government and what everyone wants to focus on. Do your own research. Get a grasp of what's actually happening. And I can guarantee you this, the government's not going to come out and say on ABC News, hey, you guys need to invest in the energy market. But what they will do is they'll put the Nuclear Regulatory Agency out there doing something they've never done before, telling companies, come talk to us. We want to fast track you. And if you're paying attention to the market, you'll know that right there is the same as them going up on national TV for 3 days straight, nonstop, saying invest in energy, invest in energy market. It's going to come out on the other side the winner. They're not going to directly send you an email. Hey, you need to know, when has that ever happened? You got to look around, do your own research and listen to people who you believe are right. And I can tell you right now, I'm right. So the energy sector is going to be a winner, and America owns the energy sector of the world. That is why I knew, and you can go back and check these videos out when Saudi Arabia said, oh, we're thinking about joining BRICS, and everyone was like, oh, yay, BRICS is going to win. It's going to take over the world. I laughed at them. I said, Saudi Arabia ain't doing anything. They're going to stay with America. Why? Because if you know the history of Saudi Arabia, 1944, 1943, everything before 1945, they were nothing. What made them something? I'll give you 30 seconds, play the Jeopardy theme song. Okay, fuck 30 seconds, I'll tell you. America said, hey, we're going to make you oil giants. We're going to give the infrastructure. We're going to set you up with sales, and we're going to create a whole industry off of the oil that we're going to pull out of your ground, and you're going to make money off of it. You're going to do what we say. And that guy, he was like, no, I don't want to do what you say. I just want to be the richest man in the world. But I can't do it unless I do what you say. Okay, I'll do what you say. You know who that person is? The fucking king of Saudi Arabia. Why do you think when Trump went over there, it was a bigger ticker date Americanized parade in 2019 when he went over there? I've never seen an American parade, a more patriotic American parade in my life. And they were in Saudi Arabia, and the president of the United States, Donald Trump, was going there. We own Saudi Arabia. We always have. We created them. We created China. CCP. We created them. Russia, they created themselves, but with our okay after World War II. A lot of things you got to look and put together. It's all planned. The fiat dollar is going away. CCP China is going away. Everything's changing. America's going to be leader of the energy sector of the world, which is going to make us the greatest country in the world. And we're going to stay that. But it's nice to see people sticking their mouths out there and say, no, America sucks. Remember who those people are. Because when they want opportunity, you'll be like, nah, America sucks for you. You don't have faith in your country and your family. You shouldn't prosper off of it. What is this? I'm sorry, I was running my mouth and didn't see you there. Hold on, let me get over here where I can actually copy this disc and see where it comes up. Oh, wow. That's mine. You sharing my... Thank you. I appreciate that, Gerald. You're actually sharing my shit. I've never had anyone share my shit before. Yeah, no, I just told you all what's going to happen. Position yourselves appropriately. Before you do that, do your own research to make sure I'm not a dumbass just talking out my mouth. But I can tell you what, I'm not. I'm definitely not. I was administrative moderator for Crypto Show back in 2020, Jordan Cameron. He made me that because I knew what the fuck I was talking about in crypto. over 4 years ago. So I know more than most. I mean, and to apply the same dynamics, I'm the Economic Ninja's administrative moderator, same as that crypto channel. I was their administrative moderator. You only get those roles if you know what the hell you're talking about. I've been knowing what I've been talking about for a couple of decades. I just haven't acted on it. It wasn't my time. Now is the time. Things are changing. We're going to be in control of the energy. A lot of, oh my God, yes, no, now is the time, baby. This is the time. It's my time. I usually prosper when things are most chaotic. Anyhow, you'll probably see earthquakes everywhere, buildings falling, and then there's going to be this rocket ship taking off. You'll be like, "What the fuck is that?" And I'm gonna have a trailer. Hey, this is Neil. You should follow me. And I'll be going past the moon, past Mars, straight up into Uranus. I meant to say that, and it was the planet, not the body part. They should really rename that planet. I get too many jokes off of that. Get way too many jokes off the name of that planet. And although it might be interesting for astrophysicists to get people into planetary objects who are interested in them, they should change the name of Uranus. Maybe call it my anus. Actually, I'll tell you what, people, here's something else I haven't told anyone this. I'm going to let it out. Because you're not going to be able to take advantage of it anyhow. I know for a fact how you can buy or quote, not buy, own for relatively free. Actual free, you're not buying it, but it costs a lot to get there. How you can own space rocks. Because in 2019, the World Space Industry Organization, whoever the hell are, 186 countries in the world all got together, and they voted and they came up with a law, and they said this is what we accept as world leaders in this planet Earth on how you can own a space object. And last time they did that was in the 60s, and they made a law stating that no one can own the moon, because they want to leave it open for all countries that can make it there to be able to develop the moon for whatever purposes. In 2019, they met again, and they came up with a law on how to own objects in space. And the law came out was you had to have a beacon that could land on that object, and that beacon being your beacon, your information on it, boom, you own it. That beacon is created by Japan. It's about $100,000, $200,000. Elon Musk has SpaceX. He dropped space travel by 90%, getting satellites into space. You can get a satellite for about $5 million that have a payload of about 10 of those beacons. And you can launch it for about $3 million. So you're talking about $9 million investment. You can have 10 beacons sent out to space, and if you use, by the time this happens, hopefully they'll have the nuclear rocket-powered engine, so it'll only take like a year and a half. A year and a half after launch, you will have ownership, after those beacons get deployed, of 10 space rocks. And if you launch the right spot in the Kuiper Belt, you could be a quadrillionaire due to the new laws and the leveraging and the ability of leverage off of ownership of metals. I know, it all sounds scientific and fucked up crazy shit. Next year, we're going to find out. Because we launched a conventional rocket with a beacon in it back in 2019, right after that law I told you about on space ownership came about. NASA signed a contract with Elon Musk's SpaceX, and we launched a rocket to the Kuiper Belt. And because it was a conventional rocket, it would take 6 years to get there. which means 2026. Panda, how's it going? So in 2026, that beacon's going to land on an asteroid, and they project that asteroid to be worth $770 quadrillion. So with everything I just told you being the law that they made in 2019, that theoretically states that the United States taxpayer through NASA will have a bank that's unattainable worth $770 quadrillion that we can leverage 10 to 1. It's going to be fun. I don't know how they're going to have it. I don't even know if they're going to tell you about that. But it's going to be fun. I've got my eye on that, and I will definitely keep you updated, because I truly don't know how they're going to do that. Because that you want to talk about a debt fucking going away? If that happens, yeah, all of our debts are gone. They'll wipe our debts clean. They'll be like, shh, yeah, no American has a debt. And that'll be part of the payoff. And they'll sell it to us probably in that way, debt tribulation, or whatever they call it. They'll probably sell it off like that. But technically, each one of us will be worth, we'll all be billionaires. But again, I don't think they'll allow it to play out like that. But if we do go into a new economy where things are more expensive, like say silver is at $1,000 an ounce, well, damn, that's going to make a solar panel a hell of a lot more expensive. A hell of a lot more expensive, along with every other product. So the only way we could afford that is if we were all billionaires. But the rest of the world would be sucking eggs. But that would definitely guarantee America would be a world leader for a couple hundred years. So, I mean, again, all this, I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know how the government's going to, or if the government will even tell us. I mean, they'll have to tell us, but I mean, no one knows about the satellites, the beacon already being launched. So I don't know if they tell us how many people will actually hear. But there's some good shit going to be coming in 2026. It's going to be interesting. And if you want to go biblical, well, hell, we've had 3.5 years bad time. We're supposed to have 3.5 years good time. And then the Revelations, which puts it at 2030, 2029, if you want to look biblical. So there's a lot of other things that play there too. I look at things from lots of angles. Gosh, I wish I wasn't so smart sometimes. But anyhow, it is what it is. So I'm going to end this live stream. I got most of the information out that I wanted to get to you peoples. Definitely buy yourself some platinum. Get on the crypto thing. Follow freaking Ninja, man. You can 25% your money overnight if you follow his lead. And that's pretty damn good. You take $100 one day, next day it's fucking 125. You do it again. Now it's 137. Now it's 170. Now it's 2. I mean, there's legitimacy to that. And also buying silver, because if silver does go up to 1,000, you're buying at 30 something. Oh my God, you're making some good money there. Of course, the only problem with that is to profit off of it, you're gonna have to sell it. And that means you won't have it. So, there's that. So, even if you have 10,000 ounces, you're going to have to sell it to use that money. Where are you getting more? That is the $1 trillion question. Sorry, my cats were fixing to fight, so I had to pick up my keys, chase them off. Separate them. You gotta keep them separated. Hey, you guys go out and play. Go out and play. Yeah, I did that intentionally. But yeah, those are the plays. It was my black cat and Harley, Mr. Trouble. They, even though Shadow is damn near twice as big as Harley, I found, because there's different types of cats. I have some cats that are really they're cat size, but they're the big cat size. And then I got like Gandalf. He's still kind of small, but he's like the ruler of the roost. Again, and Harley's same size as Gandalf, and Shadow's thick. He's a thick boy. So when he gets at it, Harley stands his ground. And same with Silver. Silver's actually an in between. He's big, but he's not real thick, but he's muscular because he's got that Siamese in him. So I got like 3 style of males, so they all going at it. But it seems like the smaller ones are the ones that rule the roost. And then I got Platina, one of my babies, just gave me 3 babies. I did a little video on them. No names for them yet because they're still in Mama's house and she hasn't brought them out for me to meet them, so I'm not going to bother trying to name them. No, what my cats do, not now. I've got them to where they don't do it. They used to jump up on my keyboard as I was online, and they, I guess they had something they wanted to type out, but they didn't know how to work the typewriter part of their computer, and they usually kicked me offline and did some other crazy shits. One time, a cat jumped on my computer. I don't know what the hell she hit, but it took me like 3 days to undo everything to where I had a normal running computer. I was out in the yard and she was just like back and forth on the thing, and it was like, oh my God, man, what did you do, cat? Yeah. They've never puked on it though. But yeah, they used to get up here. Actually, this whole area they used to jump up on, and I broke them of that. They no longer jump up on this area where my computer and TV are, because I also have like glasses of tea and shit up here. They did do that, jumped up here and had a full fucking glass of tea, and it went, oh man. Yeah. No, I've trained them though. I've trained them. That doesn't happen no more. You just got to sit down ground rules with animals, all of them. Because typically you can't have like 4 males and 5 females living together and not have a fight going on every day. But yet I do. Because they know that I'm Simba. And I let them know that I am, they are. You want to eat? I am. You want a clean shitter? I am. You want warmth? I am. All they are is are. And they know this. And, it took a little while to get, because every cat's got different personalities, and you got to work with each cat separate to its personality. But once you do that, you can pack these animals. They're not. Cats are pack animals, bro. It's us humans that don't know how to make them pack animals. If you're the type of human that can make a pack animal and see the personalities and move them into the positions they need to be in to run the whole pride, then you're good to go. And right now, the 3 leaders sleep with me. And that'd be Harley, Gandalf, and Ginger. Now the others do sleep with me occasionally when they're allowed the space. Dixie every now and then, Silver, and Shadow. Actually, all of them want to sleep in my bed. Imagine if I get a bigger bed, I'll have all of them sleeping in my bed. But right now, there's only room for me and 5 cats. But they don't get along well enough to sleep together. So it's Harley, Gandalf, and Ginger. Sleep with me. All of them will be asleep on the bed throughout the day, but when I'm in the bed, those 3 are always wherever they are. They come to cuddle with me and go to bed because they know I'm Simba, and the hierarchy, I guess, runs like that. So then you can look at the cat hierarchy and say that Harley, Gandalf, and Ginger kind of sort of don't run it, but they're like the lieutenants of the pack, of the pride. Yeah, that would have been a good one to buy some stock in. All right. Well, I just wanted to bring this live because I wanted to get all this shit off my fucking chest and let you guys know, I might not have any silver, crypto, or stocks right now, but I'm going to have more than everybody when the tally is added. And the 8 things that I mentioned to you, are all never before done new creations, new corporations, new companies, new everything that is going to be bringing in so many millions annually. And I will be looking for people. And that's why I like people coming to these channels when I do my podcast, because I'm going to be looking for people. And I don't care what you do. You can, like, I'm going to use Gerald as an example. He's a cook and crypto guy. And I'm not saying he will. I'm just using him as an example only. I'll be like, hey, Gerald, man, I got this catamaran company. I got the fucking warehouse built. I got the first fucking shit being turned out. I got to go do this other business. I want you to run this. Hire a president and just run the company for him. And you get your part for running the company. And you'll be responsible for hiring all the right people. So in other words, you'll be like the owner. If you want to hire a president, yeah, you know, it'll come out of profit margin, obviously. So, you know, step up and learn the business to where you don't have to hire so many people on the executive end. But that comes with business. That's you work that shit out in business. We're starting new businesses, and I'm going to have room for 10, 12 people that have never fucking been millionaires. I'll be able to offer you positions if you're just open-minded, willing, and able. And that's what I want to do, because that'll free me up to go do another one, and then get someone else in a position that'll free me up to go do another one. Like my festivals and events. I already have a guy who's got 25 years experience running festivals and events. As soon as I open up my first festival events on first 150, 200 acre, all I'm going to have to do is buy the land, develop it a little bit, and then I'm going to say, hey, Steve, run this. Give him a budget, and within a couple months, I'll be making money off it and paying him to do it. But the company that I started off that will be making a lot of money. I won't be doing none of it. I just got to get to a certain point and then put someone else in, and then boom, run it. And that's how you make billionaires. Ooh, don't let Ninja hear this. I don't want him to beat me there. Yes. Thank you very much, Deja Vu. All right, yeah, I'm going to end this stream. You guys have a great day, and I hope that, rewatch this and hopefully get some ideas in your head on what to do. Cryptos are running first. Stay on top of it. PMs, pick some up. It goes afterwards. Housing crash is coming. With all your profit margins, pick up a house. End of the year, it's going to look good for you if you do it right. Yeah, well, you know what tax is? Tax is money you made. And it's only a small percentage of money you made. So if you have a problem with the 10% tax, make a little more money. Make 20% more. So that way that 10% tax with that extra 10% on the 20 extra percent you made will still be more than you thought it was. That's how you look at that. You don't look at taxes as a negative thing. It's a mindset. And that's a mindset of failure, basically. When you look at it like, oh God, I got to pay taxes. Yeah, you got to pay taxes. So charge a little bit more to cover that tax. Make sure you got your profit margin after taxes with whatever it is. Look at it from a different perspective, a more positive perspective, and you'll be happier. And yeah, you'll still have to pay tax, but your perspective can make you happy or unhappy. Have a good perspective. Exactly, perspective. And perspective opens doors, doesn't shut them. Because if someone is a billionaire is walking around seeing you with a positive attitude on something bad that just happened, he might come along and say, hey, will you run one of my companies for $1 million a year? I like your fucking attitude. I hate hearing this negative shit from the guy I got running it now. But you'll never have the opportunity if your glass is always half empty, And that's just one of many opportunities that you could miss. Anyhow, you guys have a great day, and I'll do a pop-up live soon. Take care.